Good morning, everyone. I'm Jenny. Thanks for tuning in. And for those of you who are brand new here, welcome to my channel. And make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there in the corner in order to get these videos and content and so on. You can go back over my channel. I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of different people as well, for those of you who are interested. Now, today's video, I'm going to be talking about what's coming up between July 18th to the 24th. I talk about what's going on every day and how to utilize it, what energies are at play, how to work through it, what to do when not to do something, and so on. Now, we have the new moon in Leo coming up on the 24th. We are moving into Leo season, so happy birthday, my fellow Leos. I'm a Leo myself. And we also have the wrath of Mercury retrograde, as I call it. There's always positives and negatives. Doesn't matter what it is, what situation it is, where you go, what's going on, right? So what I do is whenever there's certain energies at play, I utilize it and I take advantage of it. I literally will plan certain things around on certain days and times so things will go more smoothly. So you can even go back and watch my other videos. You will see we had that pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, which can cause a lot of havoc, of course, right? So as we are in this retrograde now, like 17th, it officially started. And that goes to like the 12th, 11th of August. And then we have the after shadow for that lingers on. So it's a really long process. So this is really important for you guys to really pay attention to karmic situations, especially past karmic situations. This is the time to review, to reflect, and take a look back at what you learned, because people have started coming back from the past. Mercury retrograde brings back people from the past. And it's really important to, whenever you hear from them, or maybe you want to reach out to someone yourself, is to see, what did I learn from this relationship, connection, friendship? There's a lot of like romantic flames and romantic people and past, relationships coming back. And they very well could reach out to you. Some of them might be like, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to say hi, kind of passing through. Others might want to come back and rekindle things. Others very well might want to come back and cause havoc. So it doesn't matter if it's friendships, as I said, relationships, all of those kinds of things. Really be careful and mindful what you learned. Like Mercury, I mean, even myself, I have to go back to the hospice where I worked at because a friend of mine just got admitted there. I knew he wasn't well. I knew he was deteriorating. So I have to go back to the hospice I worked at. So I'll be seeing, people I used to work with and such. And also, like happiness to say, hi, how are you guys doing? And also sadness at the same time as I'm saying goodbye to my friend. So this is a time to really pay attention to your heart, listen to your heart. I always say, always speak from your heart. Like there's no reason why you wouldn't be, but just be really mindful of your words this time. And like sometimes people from our past come back so you can repeat past karmic lessons. So we all have to go through that, and sometimes we do have to go through these lessons again in order to finally, oh gosh, I don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? And don't criticize anybody, because sometimes we have to go through and repeat certain things until we're like, oh my God, oh, it's just not working, or all of that, right? So just be kind. Don't ever judge anybody and such like that, right? And tech glitches, technical issues. This is the worst for me. I'm online all day long. A lot of us are, right? And pay attention. Phone messages could go missing. Like I even sent a message again yesterday, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, I sent it to their home number, not their cell number, right? It can happen, it can happen, right? So check your junk folder, check your spam folder if you're waiting for an email. Make sure you're sending it to the right people. And even, like go in your sent folder because you're going to be like, how did that happen? I thought I was sending it to this person. Mercury retrograde throws things in habit, right? There's more delays, travel delays, and even July 15th to the 25th, be more caution with traveling. Like, be very careful. There's delays. Don't push delays. Delays happen for reasons. There's more accidents with fire as well during this time. Volcanoes erupting. Look at those solar flares, solar storms I've been talking about for a while. That's all just going to happen. Boom, 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 boom. It takes one different energy of that little to create huge earthquakes. Look at the volcano eruptions, all these things that are happening. When Mother Nature has a message for us, oh my God, look out, right? Really look out. So just use extra caution, especially if you're traveling and going to a certain area or a location. I was supposed to have done something, but I changed my mind for several reasons. This is a time where a lot of truth is coming out. Like even before, go back, look at my videos, my past videos. A lot of truth is getting exposed in the world, but that's nothing new. However, when I'm saying truth being exposed, it's in your life as well, personally. Pay attention to what has come up for you. We're seeing a lot of truth with people or situations or jobs or like anything. Look at that. Observe. Ask yourself, do you want to get involved in that negativity and that drama? Ask yourself, you know what? I got to stand up for myself. All of those things. But before you react, calm down and really pay attention to, do I really want to react to that? Or, yes, I am going to say something. I'm going to stand up for my righteousness. Be honest with integrity, all of that. So you will see a lot more, reality coming through more. Make those health appointments, as I always stress out, Mercury retrograde. Pay attention to what's off, what's not working, all of those things, right? Book those appointments medically, no matter what it is that you're feeling, I got to get this checked. It might not be nothing, of course, but, it could be. So this is the right time to do this, where we can resolve situation. It's a good time you book that now because now, yeah, we can get this dealt with just like that, right? Exactly. I mean, I might have to kind of go in myself. I'm kind of monitoring something right now, and I'm like, really, really, right? But don't ignore it, and your pets as well too, please. Like if your pet's acting off, get your pet checked for goodness sakes. Like we're all one collective. We're all, and just really be careful when you're making risky decisions. Like even a decision I was going to make, it was risky. I jump into the unknown and I do take risks. However, when something's feeling, I'm not 100% certain about this, I did more research. I reached out to one of my contacts, that really helped me. She's a judge with certain things, and I'm like, shit. She goes, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember me. She goes, Jeni, I'd never forget you with what you went through. So I reached out to her, and I'm so truly grateful. Thank you for watching this. You really gave me a peace of mind, and it instantly made my decision, and I was so happy about it because I instantly felt at peace. I just knew I made the right decision. So this is a time to just really use caution, as I mentioned. Just do your research on whatever it is that you're. I don't know about this or that. Do your research, and if it doesn't feel right, don't. You might not understand. You can book a reading with me. I'm a clairvoyant. You know what I mean, and I can give you that clarity. But if you're not sure with making certain decisions, really, really pay attention. Don't jump into it. Like, try avoiding huge, large purchases right now as well. You know what I mean? Pay attention to what new contracts you're signing. You know, if you're just like re-signing a lease, let's say, or something that you're just renewing, that's okay, right? If there's new things added on, make sure you know what it is. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself involved with. So, you know, Mercury retrograde brings up more of your true self. It brings more things to the surface for you to pay attention to as well. So it can really be a blessing and work with you. You know, and I'll say this in every video this summer is pay attention to the water. There's going to be a lot more water accidents. Really be careful. You know, don't go swimming alone. You know, make sure there's other people around you. Just, you know, if you're like feeling, I don't know, I don't want to go in the water, it could be contaminated, right? There's a lot of ickiness. You know, if you go on the lake or something like that, there could be some contaminations, the ocean. Dry yourself off right away. Like as soon as you come out, some people like, you know, let the sun, you know, warm you. I get that. However, if you're in a lake, I would suggest patting your body off first with a towel to dry it, and then you can lay in the sun, of course, right? Sunblock, you know, make sure you're wearing that. You know, the sun's more intense, skin cancers and all of that kind of stuff. Just use caution, right? Like just stay more in awareness and such like that. So you'll even find that on, you know, the 18th and the 19th, you are going to be reflecting back even more, you know, like throughout the whole Mercury retrograde, yes, but the 18th and the 19th, you're going to be reflecting back more over past situations. What did you learn over past situations? You know, I'll be like, you know what did I learn from that situation? What did it teach me? What did it show me? Do I really want to go through that again? Like, do I? Like, no, right? Make your own decision, of course, but you're going to find that you're going to want to like maybe even set more stronger boundaries right now. You're going to be like, you know, I just really need this person and situation to go. So, you know how I said there's a lot more truths coming up? You very well, this has been going on for a little while. Even last time, it's like you're really seeing a lot of truth coming up with people and situations. Like I like just, I observe a lot and I've taken a look at certain, you know, like situations and people, and I'm like, oh my God, really? Like, oh my God. But I don't say anything. You know what I mean? I observe and I'm like, no, I'm stepping back from you. No, no, no. I can see, I pay attention, I know what you're doing, and I'm just walking away. Right. So, but you know what I mean? Like, go with people you really resonate, who you connect with, who are authentic. You're seeing a lot of fake energy out there, as I call it, people who aren't being authentic, all of those things. That's their journey they have to go through. And you know what I mean? I just don't get involved with and such like that. So if you're wondering certain people why I haven't been following you or clicking likes on your post or certain things, there's reasons why that, right? So it's important to be a little bit more patient right now too. You know what I mean? Have more quiet time because you can be like, wow, I just need some space right now. Mercury retrograde is a time to really slow down. Like as I mentioned, don't rush into anything, right? Just kind of slow down, review things, you know, make the long-term plans, even especially now with Mercury retrograde. You know, I've had to put something that I was going to do in July, and I'm like, you know, that's not going to work for me for these reasons. So now I put it towards the autumn and the fall. So for those of you who know me, you know what I'm doing, right? So that thing that was going to happen for me, I'd move that into the fall, probably October, November-ish time is my guess. I'll know more about it in September is what I'm hearing and feeling, right? And then I'll be like, that flows with me better, you know? But it's like, then when the time comes, then you can review it again and see if that's the right thing for you. So this is why it's like, go with the flow more, say so more in the now, and really pay attention to the signs that are coming in. You know, you very well could start seeing some synchronicity events. Synchronicity, when things are more in synchronicity, wow, you know, I can understand why that didn't happen. And wow, I get it why this happens now. That's a wink from the universe and a sign from the universe that you are on the right path. You've probably been seeing a lot of angelic numbers, 222, 444, 555, all of those things, you know. And by the way, for you guys, I am creating classes for you. It's going to take a little while. But if you're interested in, you know, my classes and such that I might be doing. Let me know what you guys would like to learn in that as well. So I started creating that, which is going to take time, I might say, and everything. I've got everything and everyone who I want to be involved with it together, right? So this is all going to flow. This is long-term projects. Sometimes we have the short-term projects and such like that going on, and we have Venus energy on the 18th and the 19th too, so it's going to help you open from your heart more. Where, like there's rose quartz crystals. I don't have any on me right now or around me, but believe me, I have so many crystals I could open up a crystal store. They're all around my house. So, so you know what I mean? Just really, really pay attention. So we're on the 20th and 21st. You guys could be feeling actually a little bit off, a little bit ungrounded. So when you're feeling a little bit off or grounded, you very well could be feeling tired as well. Maybe get some sunshine. Where I'm at here, we've had a really cold, really rainy, stormy summer, like literally, like really cold and rainy. So I'm like, my flowers. I'm not buying any more flowers. It's the weather. What can you do about it, right? Like I have no control over the weather, right? Nobody does. So you might find that certain past wounds are coming up again, resurfaces, because we also have Chiron energy, which is the wounded healer. So wounds from our childhood could be resurfacing. Wounds from, more so when we're younger could be coming up. Don't run. Like, don't run, face certain things. I don't want to be emotional and all. Nobody wants to be emotional, but we can't run from that. You're a human being. We most of us have a good heart and have right intentions, but just really face it, right? Like just face things, don't run from things. It'll just keep on following you and following you and following you. And you might find that, gosh, I'm just not grounded. Do workout, maybe go in touch with nature, go for nature walks and hikes. But for goodness sakes, just please be careful because, animals are coming out and taking their power back. They've had enough of humans. There's a lot more bear attacks. Like I don't go hiking, especially in the mountains. Like that's just me, myself. I respect wilderness. I respect the animals. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hiking and, oh gosh, no, nothing. No, but I personally don't. For me, I feel it's their space, right? That's me. You know what I mean? Like they're like many people hike and mountain climb and all of those things, but please, please, please use extra caution. Don't chance it. Oh, look at those little bear cubs. Oh my God, they're so cute. Let me go over and get a close up and take a picture. Don't do that because Mama Bear is just around the corner. And believe me, when Mama Bear wants to protect her cubs, she will eliminate you. Take the photo from your vehicle from a distance, zoom in. Like, please, like there's so much going to happen that I'm not even going to go on about. I don't want to freak you out, but just please be very careful. You know what I mean? So really slow down and also forgive. You know what I mean? Like as people from your past come back, you can forgive, but you don't have to get back involved again. You know what I mean? This is the time where you could have somebody from your past come back and you're like, wow, you know what? I really do want to heal our friendship or our connection or our relationship, and that you will give that opportunity. You will get that opportunity to do so. New beginnings can happen at any time. People learn lessons. This is why I'm saying this time right now is karmic lessons learned and learning karmic lessons. Because if you don't, we have to repeat things again. You want to move more into dharma, not into more karma. Oh, but I've cleared all my karma, Jeni. You can create karma in a second. You might have cleared a lot of different karmic situations, but your actions and your words and your behavior can instantly create karma right back in seconds. You got to be a little bit more mindful, you guys, of like seriously what you're doing. I mean, like I always wish the best for everybody, and I do prayers every night, and especially for people who are struggling. We're all struggling and going through things, with so much how the world is changed by these so-called fake leaders who are only out for power. But anyways, We're not going to talk about that. That's negative energy. I stay away from it. So, as we're moving into this week, July 22nd and 23rd, like happy birthday, Leos. We're in Leo energy to my fellow lions, right? You know? So this is a time where you could be a lot more bold. You could be a lot more creative. You very well might want to showcase, your work, let's say. Maybe some of you who are an artist, let's say, you're going to want to like get your art out there. Maybe it's your music out there. Maybe you're like, you know what? I just wrote a book. I want to showcase my book out there. I have people like, well, I'm working on this project, Jenny. What if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if it does? You have to keep your mind very positive, very positive. Whenever I see people like being successful, I'm so happy for them. Like, you know what? That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Look how the world has changed and how we have been wounded by these so-called leaders with what they have done. Would you not want to see people happy and at peace and being successful? Look how many businesses closed down during COVID and because of all these so-called leaders and everything they have done and created. Would you not be happy for someone if their business was finally successful? Why would you not be? If you do wish that, if you're jealous, you got to do a lot more soul work within your soul. You really do. You really do. Work on yourself. You want things to happen, make it happen. Do the work. Do the work. Like what you do every day determines your future. There's no rushing. As I keep saying, long-term goals, I'm working on a couple of long-term goals myself. I've added another one on. I'm learning something new and learning how to do certain things on my own now. And just certain things like that where I'm like, I can't depend on that or this or this or that. I got to do this myself, or I can't afford this anymore. I got to start learning things on my own, like just certain things like that, right? There's other people out there who can help you that specialize in things that you want to do. Reach out. That's what they're there for, right? So this Leo new moon, you're going to be, like looking at more of your qualities. You're going to be seeing your worth more. You're going to be like, what do I truly want? It's not a good time for surgeries, right? On a new moon. However, that can also work with you if it was like preset or last minute. Watch your pets, please. Watch your pets. There's a lot more passings during a new moon. If you photographers take photos of the stars, we are here. We've had such a cloudy, stormy winter. We don't really see the stars, right? Some of you will, of course. New moons are new beginnings, new beginnings, new beginnings, and sudden endings. Expect the unexpected. You might be feeling, what, I'm going to stand more in my power now. You're going to be like, I've had enough of this. There's a lot of old wounds surfacing around. That Chiron energy, right? Time to reset things, set new intentions, manifest. For some of you who have crystals, put your crystals under the window or on a table or something or outside so the new moon energy can really re-energize it. Really follow what you're passionate about, your projects and such. You might going to feel tension. New moons can be emotional, of course. New moons can bring on, like tension and such. You could be feeling really impatient as well along this new moon. This is a time when you have to be really patient, as I said earlier. We try to push things, it's not going to work in your favor. It's not the right time. Maybe it's not the right thing. Maybe it's not the right path. Things have a way of coming together at the right time. You have to trust it and stop trying to control things. Don't control things. It will backfire. It will backfire on you. You know what I mean? Like the only person and situation you have on this planet of any control over is yourself. Right? I'm always saying that you really do. People are going to do what they're going to do. Really pay attention to what your soul is going to be bringing up for you as well during this new moon. Things that you have been ignoring, things that you have been like, oh, pushing it aside. I don't want to deal with that. Jeni, I don't want to deal with that. Nobody likes to deal with uncomfortable things. Nobody likes to deal with things we don't want to deal with. However, this new moon could very well give you a reality check of, you know what? You have not paid attention to this. You've been ignoring that. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to throw it right there, right on the table for you to pay attention. Right there. So, you might find that, things that are coming up that your soul will show you could be habits and routines, bad habits, a routine that you're like, God, this just, oh, it's not working for me. Change it. Every morning I get up, I do the same thing. Change it. Maybe you're doing an exercise routine and you're like, we have to shuffle things up. It's like, okay, my exercise routine, I do this every day or this every time. Shuffle it up a little bit. Like if you guys are, let's say, on a treadmill, for an example, right? Maybe try one of the, like lifting weights. Maybe try the electrical trainer or just like whatever other equipment there is at the gym and such like that. Shake it up a little bit because your body needs to get like worked out at all ends. When you're feeling stressful, your body creates different tension and it stays stuck. So this is why different routines, shake it up a little bit, move it around, all of these things. And really, really listen to your heart. Lead from your heart with the right intentions. Very important to do that. So write down what starts to come up. I got to change this. I got to change that. Because when we're overly thinking, you're not going to see clarity. Even something I was going to do this month, I was overthinking. I was emotional. Actually, I got so distracted. I left my keys in the gym and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get back in there? It's like, there's nobody there. Like, oh my God, I didn't have my phone on me. I'm like, how am I going to get back into my place? It was a Sunday. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I just gonna go to the office. Thank God somebody was there. I'm sorry, I left my keys in the gym. Oh, Jeni, you could have phoned us. No, I don't even have my phone with me. I don't bring my phone to the gym. I just bring my keys, right? And my water. That's how distracted I was. So that for me is like, okay, calm down. Let's get a reality check here, right? So, for those of you, even around the 22nd, 23rd, if you're a Leo, you're going to find that you're going to step more into your spotlight. You're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a lot more confident. I'm going to be a lot more creative and warmth. Really pay attention to your creativity and your projects. Where if you're an Aries or a Sagittarius, you're going to be like more charming. You could devote to something, devotion to yourself. Maybe you're going to make a commitment to someone else. You're going to be a lot more inspired. You're Aquarius, you could be feeling a lot more challenged with relationships. So it could be a little bit hard, a little bit more off day for you. Where if you're like a Taurus or a Scorpio, you're going to be a lot more focused on home. You're going to be a lot more focused on career. You're going to want a lot more recognition for like from your career. It's like, wow, I've been working really hard. Like I'm not getting noticed to get that promotion or that raise or whatever it is. I want to get recognized more. Well, this is the perfect time to revamp things, to reflect, review what's working, what's not working. Or if you're Cancer or Virgo, it's a day where you can be a little bit romantically challenged, or it can be a very passionate day for you romantically. So it's going to be a day for you to want to be more grounded. You could be like, I don't know about my relationship right now. I don't know. You're going to want to be more grounded, exercise, spend quiet time for yourself, reflecting, go for a hike, go for a walk, because you're going to want to find, you know what, I got to really distance away from drama and negativity right now. It's starting to get to me. It's starting to really, really, really get to me. When it does, take that step back, calm yourself down, and ask yourself, do I really want to get involved with this? Right? So, we have a lot of energy going on this. We always do. We always do. That's why I do these videos, because there's so much happening every day. And I work with these energies, like literally, literally, literally. Even that decision I was going to make, and I'm like, oh my God. I was supposed to go on that power day, which would have been good, but I'm like, no, thank God I saw the truth. And then the next day after I was supposed to go, it was the 16th or the 17th. And I'm like, oh my God, Mercury retrograde. And then it didn't work out because I saw a lot of truth come out. And I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I asked to be shown that. I'd rather see the truth, because when you're dealing with an emotional situation, it can be really hard to get clarity because our emotions are too high. But once we see clarity, which I did, thank you to my friend. Wow. Very grateful for her insights. Wow. She's not psychic or intuitive. She's a judge that, boom, is very to the point. And I'm like, thank you. So anyways, let's talk to the cards. I don't use cards. When I do readings, I'm a clairvoyant, psychic medium, past life Akashic records, animal communicator, and so on. You can always book a reading with me. However, this is YouTube, right? So I'm going to pull a couple of cards to see what messages the spirit world has for you. So some of you very well could connect with these cards. Some of you are going to be like, well, I don't connect that. Of course not. How many billions of people are on the planet? So no, not everybody is going to connect. So I'm going to pull a card right away from the romance deck, considering we have, like exes from our past coming back, relationships and friendships and stuff. So the romance angels from Doreen Virtue, I'm going to pull a couple of cards and see what messages are from the 18th to the 24th. Wow, right away this card fell out. Reconciliation. Well, I don't make this stuff up, folks. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Oh my God. Look at how spirit talks. Look at that. Look at that. What did I just talk about? This whole thing. Past people returning, reviewing karmic lessons in relationships. Very important, you guys. Very important. Very important. Wow. Wow. That's so cool. So I don't even need to go on with that, because I literally, the whole video is about that. So let's talk about our past life. I do past life Akashic records too. During Virtue again, Brian Weiss. Past people are coming. Also, past life people are coming. You know what I mean? There's certain ways it's somebody from your past life and past people. So what is the message from the 18th to the 24th of July? Message from the 18th to the 24th of July. Message from the 18th to the 24th of July. Message from the 18th to the 24th of many. 18th to 24th of July. What's the message? Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Look what card fell out, you guys. What is it, Jenny? I'm going to show you. Forgiveness. What was I talking about during this video? Forgiveness. Forgive yourself too. We all make mistakes. We all say things. We all do things. We're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? We all go through that. We all do. And pay attention, as I mentioned, past people returning. Maybe they want to apologize. Maybe you want to apologize to someone. Maybe they'll forgive you. Maybe they won't. Ends, right? It helps clear the energy. It helps you to move on as well, no matter what way, no matter what way. So let's also have a chat here. Actually, no, I'm going to pull this one. Work with crystals as well. So I'm going to be talking to the Crystal Spirits Oracle by Jenna Della Gradigalia. This is my favorite crystal deck, by the way. I have other crystal decks. Oops. And this one by far is my favorite. So make sure you guys put your crystals under the new moon energy to cleanse and recharge, right? Or you can put it like on a table or a window ledge or outside if you feel safe and such like that. Like I have a lock on my gate, my yard, so I could even put my crystals outside. But it probably is going to rain because it's been raining literally every day. So I'm not going to put it out under the rain unless it's a clear night, right? So I'll put it on the window ledge, or I have a table in front with my plants in front of my balcony door here. So, just saying. What's the message from our crystals, the land of the crystals, from the 18th to the 24th? Right away. I love all crystals. So many different properties in that. Uclase. Uclase. I love these decks too because if you can see, there's a face. Can you see that face in the crystal? How many of you can see the face coming out of that crystal? The blue crystal too, and blue crystal is all about communication, like the throat chakra as well, right? You want to be communicating from your heart, as I mentioned. You want to be speaking your truth from your heart always. So go with whatever crystal you're truly drawn to, like some people are going to be like, well, I don't know what crystal I want. Just go by what you're pulled to. Well, I don't know what it means. You can, if you're getting it at the store, you can ask the staff. Usually they know. Sometimes they have like a little meaning beside the crystal. This is, what it means. Or you can Google it. You can Google what type of crystal would be good for me for, whatever reason, right? So finally here, Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards by Jade Smith. I'm going to have a little chat with this. I'm not going to use my other deck over here. I'm not feeling that full. I go by what I'm feeling, right, from Spirit. So what is the message from the 18th of the 24th? How many of you are Leos out there? How many of you guys would be interested in classes and such? Let me know. Balance yourself always. Direction, growth, and life stages. Look at that. Some of you might get drawn into shamanic energy, shamanic healing, and medicines and stuff. Really pay attention to, as I mentioned, what you get drawn and pulled towards. Look at that. Look at that. There's direction. What direction do you want to go towards? Growth. Look back and reflect to see where you are now. What lessons did you learn? As I keep mentioning, karmic lessons, reviewing karmic situations. What did you learn from those experiences? Life stages. We all go through different cycles. We all go through different life stages with so many different things in our life. So now, please like my video, make some comments, share the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, of course. Let me know what's going on with you guys. If you want to book a clairvoyant reading with me, I give a lot of details, soulworkwithjeni.com. And I will catch you all on the next video. Namaste.